started filming with a lot of my friends, Ricky Skaggs and Sam Bush and Joe Bonamassa, Brad Paisley, Peter Frampton, Tommy Emanuel. We talk about guitars and music and what's interesting to us and what's challenging. Sam Bush is, I'd say, he's at the top of the mandolin world with just a couple of others, probably David Grisman and Chris Thiele. Sam, his first teacher, I think, or his main teacher was Jethro Burns.
Much like the scene in Coal Miner's Daughter where they're sitting around on a Friday night listening to the radio, well, that was us up on the farm 60 miles north of Nashville here in Bowling Green listening to the Grand Ole Opry. And I'd been playing the mandolin, I don't know, 6 months, and Bill Monroe played John Henry, and I just, man, it knocked me out. I just thought that was a great, and I remember my dad and I sitting there, and I was just, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. And my dad, see, I was a Bill Monroe fan. My dad was not. And he told me, he goes, that ain't nothing. You need to hear Jethro Burns. Then you'll learn some mandolin.
Jethro Burns was known as a comedian, but he was also a very fine mandolin player. And he and his partner Homer, of Homer and Jethro, they were inspired by Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli and their Quintet of the Hot Club of France. So when they weren't doing their comedy bits, they would sit backstage and play mandolin and guitar in the style of Django and Stefan. Here was Django inspiring Jethro Burns, who then inspired and taught Sam Bush, and to my ears showed me that jazz and swing could actually be played on a mandolin, because I didn't hear anybody else before that could really make it sound right. So you got to meet Jethro and take lessons from him.
It was in 1973, our band Newgrass Revival. We were playing in Lafayette, Indiana. And I thought, well, that's pretty close to Chicago, isn't it? So I called him and asked, but I got his number. I called him and asked if I could come meet him. And he said, something to the effect of, Sam Bush, who in the hell are you? He said, I've been playing the mandolin my whole life, and one of my students the other day asked me if I could teach him something by you. And I said, no. So,
yeah. Oh, I know what I want to do. Let me trade 1 second. I want to show you something. And see, this is one thing that I learned. And tell me where it comes from, I think. No.
I don't know what that's in, but that's a Jethro.
It's something in Jethro, right? So he's got a G7 flat 5, right?
I just learned a new lick.
It's so creative. Like, how does he come up with that?
We used to play at Holstein's, a club in Chicago, and Jethro would open the show for us. And sometimes it would be, at first, it was weird, you know, when your hero is opening the show.
Yes.
And you don't feel worthy to carry his case, as that way I always felt.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him about it once, and he said the greatest thing. And I think it's helped me as I age as a musician. And I said, it just feels so strange. I mean, you're so up there, you're so there, and I'm so here. It feels so strange for you to be opening the show for us. And he went, get over it. Listen, if you're lucky and you live long enough, you too will be opening for people that can't play as good as you.
Bluegrass music is a string band music. You know, it's all string instruments. Well, so is Django Reinhardt and his original quintet at the Hot Club of France. 2 rhythm guitarists, a lead guitarist, violin, and upright bass. It's a 5-person band. A traditional bluegrass is a 5-person band, mandolin, banjo, fiddle, guitar, and bass. Those things are very, very similar. They have a similar drive and a similar energy. Gypsy jazz is almost the European version of bluegrass in America.
You can hear Django Reinhardt's influences in some of our great bluegrass guitarists, or the way, you know, that we would have first heard Wes Montgomery play octaves on the guitar. One way to play them on the mandolin is this. But Jethro played them like this. So learned that from Jethro. Well, guess what? Sounds like we all got it from Django. All the octaves, you know. And so I've often wondered if Jethro's love of octaves came from Django. And it's such a great natural progression. But turn it up.
Ricky Skaggs, he's carrying the mantle of traditional bluegrass now. We've lost most of our first generation bluegrass icons, like Bill Monroe and Earl Scruggs and Lester Flatt and Ralph Stanley. And Ricky really respects that traditional style of bluegrass. He took some inspiration from both Stephen Grappelli and Django Reinhardt in the technical aspect of playing those string instruments.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
fantastic.
oh.
Thank you so much.
Hey, man, you're welcome.
I never played with you that kind of
I
music
know.
before.
I saw you in Colorado, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What a night that was. That was so great.
You know, that was the only time I was so proud. We were an acoustic band and we blew out the PA system.
I know it. That was such a awful sound
That's acoustic
system.
rock and
Oh,
roll.
yeah, that is. That was on 11 for that. Yeah.
Man. Wow.
Well, that was fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I think you're one of the great musicians of our generation. You know, we're close to the same age, and but just where you have come from musically and where you have gone to musically, you know, not a lot of difference than, you know, you raised West Coast, I was, Eastern Kentucky, but you have learned very well the secrets and the little intricacies of of bluegrass very, very well. And
thank you. Well, you know I love it too. You know.
Well, I know you do. But what you did with Django's music is just really it's astounding.
This is Jethro Burns, 1959. Some say 59, some say 60. Close enough.
I mean, I've listened to this mandolin a million times.
Yeah.
And before I heard Jethro Burns playing this mandolin, I kind of didn't think it was possible to play swing music on a mandolin. Because everybody that I heard tried to do it, it never sounded to me right. And then I heard Homer and Jethro's album, Ain't Necessarily Square, and Playing It Straight. And I went, it can be done.
Yes.
He's doing it.
He did it.
And they were playing really in the style of Django and Stefan.
Yeah, they sure were.
You know, they were playing that kind of swing, and I'm like, this is. Thank you so much for bringing that. I never thought I would see that.
It fell in our house. It fell in the wheelhouse.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
That's old red.
Yeah, man. Golly.
This, I would say, is the heir apparent to Jethro Burns. He says he wouldn't say that, but I'm the one with the microphone, so there you go. But I listened to this song so many times, and I always wanted to play it. It's a classic from Benny Goodman that Jethro reinterpreted on the mandolin. And Sam's just going to tear it up for you on this song. It's called Don't Be That Way. I've found from learning Django's music myself is that you can find traces of him in all styles of guitar playing today. And guitar playing as we know it today would not be the same without Django. Killer sounding guitar.